Hi, it's the Carter Man. This is my second video of today. It's Thursday. And I want to talk to you about a topic that is unpleasant and that I'm always reluctant to bring up because I know I have some very close friends, dear friends, who are on the entire opposite side of what I'm going to discuss with you. And I don't want to offend them, but there is a time for truth, as Ronald Reagan said. And that truth is that this Biden proxy war, Biden, Victoria Nuland, Tony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, and his whole gang of cutthroats, their proxy war in Ukraine has to stop. I mean, is anything going to satiate their bloodlust? Anything. Look, I've said before, I'm going to say it again. There's not another president in history, I don't think. And I was a history major in college, so I know a little bit about some of them. I don't think there's another president in history who would do what Joe Biden has done to the Ukrainian people. Joe Biden is an old man who has toxic dementia. You know, my brother's in a senior's home, and he was saying the other day that one of the top people there was saying the problem with people with some forms of dementia is they have these violent flashes, okay? And you never know when they're going to come, but they just lash out. Well, we better stop and think that this demented old man in the White House has these violent flashes, and then they're preyed upon. They're fed into by the neocons at the State Department who just don't seem to ever be able to get their fill of killing, okay? So now we have some estimates are as high as 400,000 young Ukrainians killed in a needless war that never, ever had to take place. I'm going to say it, that never would have taken place under any other president, because we had every chance to negotiate and prevent it before it even started. Even after the early stages, Putin had persuaded Zelensky to talk about a negotiated settlement, and Biden sent the British Prime Minister over to tell him, no, we want war. We want war. And so we got it. And then you had Victoria Nuland pushing Zelensky most recently for this horrific offensive that everyone knew was going to be a massive failure. And now they estimate as many as 40,000 lives later, young Ukrainians, once again, they're admitting, oh, well, I guess it failed. What do we do next? So Zelensky stands up and says, we're going to have war in the Black Sea. War in the Black Sea. Is he aware that Russia has one of the most sophisticated submarine fleets in the world? This never stops. And of course, he's put up to that by toxic Joe Biden and the warmongers at our State Department. This has got to stop. Stop killing these kids. Negotiate a settlement. This thing is over. This thing is over. Clean up the killing fields. And while they're at it, Toxic Joe and his henchmen and women at the State Department, call off your wars on everywhere else in the world. It's like Toxic Joe gets up, he has a dementia fit, and says, let's wage war on. And where is it on? Well, Iran, of course, China, naturally, over Taiwan. Taiwan is 15 minutes from China's shore, and he's sending money and troops to Taiwan, as if we can win that war. Well, we couldn't even win battles in Ukraine. And then there's Niger. He wants to send troops into Niger. It's their, it's their coup. 73% of the people in Niger support the coup, and the United States is warning them, you better, you went over and warned them, you better, to the president of Niger, Victoria Nuland. Now, can you imagine having that beast come and tell you what to do? You better turn the country back over to the dictator before, or we're going to come after you, she told him. That's what she's trying to say. And he told her, get lost. Get lost. Which we're hearing from a lot of African countries now who are a little fed up with us dictating to them. Niger, Iran, Taiwan, oh, of course, Pakistan. Now we know that our government engineered the overthrow of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, for Pete's sake. That's their country. That's their country. And why? Well, our ambassador said, you supported Russia, so we want that man gone, or else it's going to be very rough for you in the weeks and months ahead. Who in the hell do we think we are? We have become the war nation, and that's not a very enviable place to be, because as Robert Kennedy Jr. pointed out, and he's right, folks, he is right, once you start that, then you need a massive surveillance state to keep your own people under control who might not like waging war on everyone else in the world. Okay? Okay, that's where we are. Biden now wants to send another $20 billion to Zelensky, the grifter Zelensky, the man who we know has stolen at least $400 million so far. What's going on here? What's going on here? By the way, we now know that the United States is on the Ukrainian, let's get it right, I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden, proxy war, has spent $900 per household. You think that might have come in handy in your household? Extra $900? I could use it. Could. How about the $200 billion Biden has spent so far on Zelensky's Ukraine, on a failed proxy war? Think that might have helped the homeless situation in this country? I love what the new president of Niger told the U.S. When he threatened, if you don't give the country back to the dictator who gave your uranium to France, if you don't give it back, we're going to cut off aid to you. And he said, do it. And here's a suggestion for you. Give it to all the homeless people in your streets who can't afford to live in your country. That's what the rest of the world thinks of us now, thanks to toxic Joe Biden and his team of bloodthirsty warmongers. This has all got to stop. This has all got to stop. Call your congressmen, call your senators, tell them no more, no more. Now let's tend to things at home. Let's straighten up our own house. As the Bible says, let's take the mote out of our own eye. In this case, before we start shoving the mote in other people's eyes, because it's not working, it's not good, and it's destructive abroad and on the home front. And we need to put a stop to it now. Let's do this thing.